Tonight, a fairy tale ending. Lionel Messi leads his team to victory. Argentina lift the trophy after an unforgettable World Cup win. Charges laid, 3 men so far stung over the weekend's violent pitch invasion. Police and Melbourne City say there are more consequences to come. Gone far too soon, tributes being paid for the Territory politician taken suddenly on the weekend at the age of 52. And academic excellence and graduates galore, the Territory's top students awarded for outstanding achievements. Good evening, Melissa McKay with ABC News. Argentina is celebrating its third World Cup triumph after beating France in one of the most captivating finals in the history of the tournament. It was 3-3 after extra time before Lionel Messi's team won in a penalty shootout. World Cup reporter Tracy Holmes has more from Doha. Here in Australia, the party continued well into the morning for Argentinian fans. Thousands crowded into venues across the country to watch the match. The big win was celebrated with spur-of-the-moment street parties.
In the final moments of a nail-biting penalty shootout, a collective holding of breath at packed-out pubs across the country. And then, Argentina's World Cup winning goal. In amongst the hubbub, hugs, tears of joy and phone calls home. Celebrations continued well into the morning.
Everybody wanted to see Messi racing the cup, and we did it.
I was crying. Yeah, no. I thought we weren't going to make it, but yeah, we did.
I really don't have words to describe what I'm feeling.
Argentinians gathered on the steps of the Opera House to bask in the glory together.
Many people came from Queensland, from Northern Territory. They came here just for today to celebrate here.
So happy for all the people that they are in Argentina, because that will put a smile in everyone's face.
These Argentinian fans have been up all night, but sleep is the last thing on their minds. It's their country's first World Cup win since 1986, the best Christmas present any of them could have asked for.
A long-awaited victory that deserves to be savoured. Ruby Cornish, ABC News, Sydney.
Let's go back to Tracy Holmes in Doha after a big night of celebrations. Tracy, Qatar started off as a controversial event. What do you think the legacy will be?
Look, I think it's going to be multiple legacies. The first one is, of course, the significant changes that have been made to labour laws and workers' rights here, which was a lot of the focus in the 10-year build-up. The government has committed to making sure that those changes continue, and they have been recognised by international agencies as regional best. Now, secondly, I think for one of the world's smallest countries to host its biggest event so successfully is a feather in their cap. And thirdly, for the World Cup itself, it's been exposed to a whole new region, the first in the Middle East. We've seen the fans, a very different look to those packing out the stadiums here to most World Cups. We've seen it relatively alcohol-free. We've seen a lot of families, mums, dads and kids, and it's been a celebration by all, something that many will talk about. Those that have experienced this World Cup will remember for years to come.
Tracy Holmes in Doha there, thank you. While the football world is basking in the glow of a thrilling World Cup, the sport in Australia is still reeling from an ugly weekend in the A-League. 3 men have now been charged by police in the wake of Saturday night's violent pitch invasion in Melbourne. And as Tom Maddox reports, Melbourne Victory is also facing possible punishment over the actions of rogue fans.
Bandaged and bruised.
Obviously, it's disappointing for football.
Tom Glover lamented a night Australian football wants to forget.
I think it's, the incident, but it's more for the Australian football itself. The Socceroos are unbelievable and, hopefully riding the wave of that, but small minority which kind of ruins it.
The City goalkeeper suffered lacerations to his head when he was struck by a metal bucket filled with sand which also hit referee Alex King. The violence erupted after Glover threw a flare back into the stands. The man accused of throwing the bucket, a 23-year-old from Craigieburn, has been charged with violent disorder and unlawful assault. 2 other men have also been charged with a string of offences.
The police investigation is doing their thing. For me, it's just getting back on the pitch.
Police are warning more arrests could be made as they track down more fans.
It was just totally appalling. They've brought the game into disrepute, and there has to be an accounting for what they've done.
It's just shameful. It's absolutely shameful, and there's no place for that in sport.
Football Australia has given Victory until Wednesday to explain why the club shouldn't face sanctions. They could include fines, the loss of points, and even locking fans out of matches for the rest of the season. But the sport's governing body denies there's a cultural problem.
I've never packed a balaclava to go to a football game, and I think that demonstrates to me that there were people in that stadium that were there to cause havoc.
Victory says it's still working out whether some fans at the match had already been issued with lifetime bans. Tom Maddox, ABC News, Melbourne.
The member for Arafura has today been remembered as a quiet achiever who stayed out of the spotlight while working to reduce Indigenous disadvantage. The government he was a part of is also vowing to improve Indigenous life expectancy after the politician's sudden death over the weekend. His name is not being used for cultural reasons, and this story contains the names of Indigenous people who have died.
Politics today paused to pay respect after the